Hello, welcome to our show. Here we are with myself, and obviously Brett is going to chime in a minute, and we're all going to be saying hello to you. And oh, there you go. There's Brett now. How you going, Brett? How are you?
Good. How you going? Hi, everybody. Hope everybody's well and great. Good.
Everything's going well here, so I hope everyone can actually hear us nice and clear, and there are no big issues here. Can anyone maybe chime in and let us know what what it actually sounds like at the moment?
Yeah, check the audio and the video and see what we. Yeah.
Yeah.
I look a bit pixelated for some reason, but.
Are you pixelated? It could also be that your blurring effect is actually causing a problem. Hey, going, Lauren, how are you?
Oh,
Lauren is here.
Turn that off.
And Riss, how are you going, Riss? Congratulations, Riss, for your magazine cover. Another magazine cover. Woohoo! Oh, we're all good. So the sound is good and everyone can see us okay. So that's pretty good. We're just waiting for a few people to chime in now. So we're, like just doing maybe a pre-show. So I'm pixelated at the best of times. Woohoo! Lauren. You know that movie Pixels, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna bring up my feed and actually just make sure everything is okay. So yeah, congrats, Ress, says Lauren.
Congrats.
There you go.
Yeah. That's the fifth time.
Fifth? I thought it was only the second time. Holy moly. Got a celebrity in our midst here. So so I actually I was gonna intro put some music in. There you go. Some not too loud. We're just gonna have a bit of music running in the background, just to sort of like fill in the gaps a little bit. If anyone has got any problems with the music running in the background, just let me know, and I'll sort that out on the rebound. Yeah. So Riss says was a total shock to see I had made it for cover number 5. So do you have to put in the cover each and every time, or did you give them a batch of photos and they decided to put another magazine in, or is it just every month you got to compete for it? Huh? What's that? Rich says I was totally shook. Okay. Shucks. DJ Mark. You wished. I wouldn't be here. I'd be in America doing like having the hat on sideways and all that, and sunglasses on and bling. Lot of bling here. A lot of chain bling. So we got, how many people have we got in here now, Brett? Can you see it? Just want to make sure that we're getting enough people in here, otherwise I'm going to switch the show off. That's going to make people nervous now. Oh, he's going to switch the show off if we don't come live.
But it's good that we've got 3 likes already. That happened before.
3 likes. Imagine.
That's good.
Well, if you start getting thumbs down in your show, that's when it's a problem.
You just ignore the trolls, mate. That's all you worry about that. Yeah.
The trolls. So, can I go to? I've just got a few issues here having to go live onto my stream. Okay, here we go. I should be okay now. Yeah, so
introduction. Have I lost you sound?
Okay, I better turn that volume down. Sorry?
So introduction, I think.
Yeah. Allowed 3 entries, and they choose the winner from lots of entries, says Riss. So there you go. Okay. And Lauren is going, oh. Yeah. No, it's really good. I think a lot more people should actually enter competitions just for practicing and just sort of seeing where they're standing with the photography. But sometimes it's misleading as well because I think a lot of judges are a bit, sometimes they're a bit strange. Okay, so let's hit the road running and let's talk about the first bits of pieces here. Let me just scroll to, where was that thing? Okay. Sorry for the lull, guys. I'm just looking for something here, just to get the show started. Okay.
The pre-show.
The pre-show. Oh, I now wish that I actually had a better image to deal with here, Brett. Okay, so not just me, says Riz. There you go. Okay, so why can't I get this up properly? Okay, so just want to say hello to everyone and welcome. Obviously, Brett, I got to introduce Brett for starters. Brett is a Sony advocate here in Australia and Queensland, and I am just basically and also running Facebook groups, etc. So he's running he's the administrator for Sony Alpha Brisbane. And I myself, I am a fashion photographer, professional fashion photographer, and run another Facebook group, obviously. And all the details are actually in the bottom of in the comment box if someone wants to find links to us. And while you're down there, you know, like, you're always welcome to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also click that bell so you actually get a notification when these shows come on, because I've got planned to, at random, sometimes come on and also put up some videos, some instructional and tip videos, etc. in the future. So yeah, just hang in there and just do the right thing and do it. Okay, so yep, so Mad Dog Manny. Hey guys. And Lauren says, evening. Hello, Lauren. Michelle has chimed in. Hi, Mark and
Michelle.
Brett. How you going, Michelle?
Hello, Mad Dog. Welcome.
Yeah, Michelle. Yeah. Who's Mad Dog? Who's Mad Dog Manny? Who's Mad Dog Manny?
Don't know.
And do we know you, Mad Dog Manny? And Brett has, yeah. Mad Dog Manny.
And anybody new to our channel and that too, or Mark's channel, let us know where you're from. We'll be curious where you're from, if you're from
Yeah, true, right. Yeah.
And so forth. Yep.
I'm just going to the first thing I need to do is actually I gotta make Brett a moderator.
Mad Dog. I know who that is. Emmanuel from our group.
So there you go, Brett. You are now a moderator. So there you go.
Oh, cool. Thank
Congratulations.
you. Gives me something else.
Oh, Emmanuel, how are you?
So, yeah.
Lauren said it's not her, so, you know, and here we go. It's Emmanuel. Okay, great. You know, sometimes people have got these hidden names, and you're scratching your head and trying to work out who it is. You know, so yeah. So now with that said, you know, like we've just done our intros, and everyone roughly knows who we are or who we are going to be in the future. Okay, I would just want to bring up the Sony announcement, Brett.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, so last weekend, Sony. Uh, well, it was rumored that Sony would do an announcement, and a lot of people actually misunderstood what the announcement was for, and everyone thought it was going to be for a new camera coming out. But obviously, as we know now, it was never actually announced, and all the rumors, well, more or less the rumors were also saying that there wouldn't be a camera announced at this stage, and it turned out to be a firmware upgrade for a cinematic camera, the FX9, the Sony FX9, which is basically, I should bring that up, Brett, and show people what this looks like.
By the way,
let me just see if I can actually.
It is a fantastic camera, though. Don't get me wrong on that, but
it certainly is, yeah.
Vasto in the hybrid camera, and still, yeah. But anyhow, yep.
Yeah, I'm going to bring it up now so people can see what this camera actually looks like. This is maybe a little video that I could actually run. Not sure if I'm allowed to, but I'm just going to run it for a little bit so people can get an idea. And if you can see, that's the ND section there, Brett.
Yeah.
All those buttons, those orange buttons on the side, that's all for selecting ND.
Yeah, Mark's fancy toy, can control audio, video, and all of that, yeah.
Riss says she's from Couch. That's a new country. Mad Dog Manny, good fellas. Okay. I'm from the land of Kitty Cat. And, A7S free for me. Yeah, it's sort of like it's a beautiful camera, this FX9, but it's also a beautiful price, I think. It's, what is it? Yeah, I'll just turn this volume down a bit more, the audio. And I think it's $19,000 now, somewhere around there. And it doesn't come with lenses.
No.
So that's all extra.
Unfortunately, the high-end videos, dedicated video system, they sell the bodies separately to the lenses. So, but then again,
exactly.
When you really think about it, those dedicated video bodies can actually use the FE lenses, the whole range of them. So, you know, it's very, So if people already got those lenses, it's a bonus. So.
Well, don't forget, this is actually a higher end sensor. I mean, we're not talking about a 35mm camera, Sony camera sensor anymore. We're talking about, this is a 60. Oh, I got a blank now. It's a what is it? 60. Oh, I just went blank for a second. So the sensor is much larger.
Isolation, Mark.
Yeah, I don't know. You got blankety blanks when you don't talk to people for a long time. You know, just always on this earpiece, and that's about it.
Yep.
So I mean, we've upped our production here a little bit. You know, if anyone can see this, you know, I don't no longer have to wear a headset or anything like that. I've just got an earplug in here, so I can actually hear Brett via Skype. So has anyone got any questions about this camera or anything like that? I mean, it's obviously a high-end camera and cinematic. It's made for professional photographers, videographers, and you will also see. Hang on, I'll just blend this in one more time, Brett.
Yep.
So you will actually see on that screen that that is the sensor, and I think in this portion here they're actually showing you how the ND overlay goes over the sensor, like it's inbuilt in the camera, so you don't actually screw an ND filter on your lens or anything like that on this camera. You know,
Yeah.
like it's all inbuilt and it's all very professional. It's I've actually seen the sensor in action. That's what I was looking for. I was looking for that word sensor, right? And the overlay is like an electronic. It looks really weird when it happens. I mean, I've seen the naked sensor, and then the ND overlay just goes over it. It's quite incredible the way it actually looks. But if anyone wants to know more about this camera, they can go to the Sony US website and go to the specification of the camera, and there's videos there and examples also. Maybe I should just run an example in the background here so people can actually maybe see it. I'll just turn the... Oops. Okay, so there you go. So there's an error in encoding everything. So it might actually have to do with yeah. So YouTube won't allow this to happen. So we just can't have that right now.
Yeah.
So that's not a problem. Let's go out of that.
Lauren said no A7S3 for me. Sad face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, unfortunately, yes. Yeah, I did expect there won't be announcements from any new cameras and lenses from that last announcement on the 30th. I pretty much knew it was going to be all pro consumer announcements and firmware updates.
Yep.
I don't particularly follow that part of the of the video side of the world, but as everybody knows,
well, Lauren wants to get 2 of these cameras, so okay, so go ahead, Lauren. And that's actually a good segue. We can maybe has anyone got any questions about this segment? Otherwise, we're going to move on. I just want to talk with Brett about some lenses, etc. Of what's going on there in the actual market at the moment.
Well, they
can
bring up the questions later, and I think we'll just move on to the next segment anyhow.
Yeah, I mean, Lauren said I can dream. Haha.
Yep.
So yeah. Okay, so I'll bring up another image to show, and in here you will see the current prices for Sony. And if I scroll up, I mean, I'm not going to leave it up for too long, but people will see there is a marked price difference now. The prices have actually gone up because of the coronavirus and delivery costs, etc., and they've gone up quite a fair bit. I've been hearing that some retailers are still selling at a reasonable price. So yeah, you just got to shop around. Like if you're in the market of actually wanting to buy a lens, I would highly recommend that you do it soonish and do shop around a fair bit. What do you think, Brett?
Yes, well, I think this has come about because the first of the restrictions was lifted up to a radius, 50 mil radius, which we're going to discuss later. But because of that, it's lifted, and you're going to start as you see more restrictions are lifted over time. Things they're going to get yeah. And it's not going to be in the camera world. It's not just going to be Sony. It will be Canon, Nikon, Panasonic, Fuji.
Oh look, I mean, it's just because I'm displaying these prices here from Sony. It doesn't mean that obviously Canon and Nikon and everyone else is going to follow. Or if they haven't already raised their prices, I would be very surprised because it's.
Hi, Craig.
It's a. Yeah, Craig Turnbull is in the house. How you going, Craig? How are you? Good to see you in here. Yeah. Now, now that I've actually opened up the can a little bit here, Brett, we might want to talk about our lenses and why we've got so many and why we've got mainly. I mean, a lot of people actually are going towards prime lenses, but you've got something to say, obviously, about that.
Well, on a mixed bag, really. I still got more zoom lenses than them primes, because when I was doing weddings and that, I find the zoom lenses are better because I can get to places where you don't have to walk in to move in with a prime lens, so you're not in way or that sort of thing. So that's the beauty of the zoom lenses. A lot of wedding photographers have gone to prime lenses, but then you have running a risk. What I find, you're running a risk having to swap out lenses. With a zoom lens, if you got two camera bodies and you've got a 70-200 with on one body, and then you've got a 24-70 on another body, you got all that focal range from 200 to 24, right? And different cameras, and you're not trying to run and swap out lenses and that, and it's just much easier. But also, I do shoot primes, 135, 50 mil, 85, and that. But when that comes into a wedding and that and so forth, that's when you're doing your formal shots and and so forth. But during the actual wedding, I like to use the zooms far better than the prime.
Yeah. So this is I got to cover my eyes so this actually goes sharp, right? So this is the 135 G Master, the 1.8 mil that everyone raves about. It's a razor sharp lens. It's amazing with its focus ability and its sharpness. It's unfortunately, like Brett already knows, it's a 135 mil, and I'm still wishing that Sony is bringing out a 105. That's been, I think a lot of people actually know this by now, that I've actually got this little hang up. I mean, I know the STF is out. There's a 100 mil STF lens, a G Master, but it unfortunately it's got a T stop that's actually at. I'm not happy about the T-stop of how much light goes through. So it's effectively a what is it? A 5.6 aperture. So that's a bit of a problem for me. But for studio work, etc., I mean, there's probably nothing. There are some lenses that are actually great for studio work as well, and you don't have to really worry about a fast lens or anything like that. But I would. If I would go into that kind of purchase, I would want to have an all-rounder, like a 105 or 100 mil that can just about do everything for me. Yeah, Messiahs. That's I think that's Bill. How you going, Bill? Everyone's got these secret names on YouTube. No one wants to be known by their real name. And also, I mean, don't forget, like if you look at a 135 mil, and you look at the cost, etc., then that's a G Master. You can always look at something as simple as maybe the 85 mil 1.8. So this is the 85 1.8, and if you can already see the way I'm holding it. It's just super lightweight. It's just fantastically light. It's, I mean, without the lens cover, I mean, this is a ridiculous lens. I mean, it's super sharp. It's f1.8, 85 mil. Fantastic lens. And here I am again showing a lot of prime lenses. I'm not actually I'm going more and more away from zoom lenses myself. I do still have the 135 mil. The 70 to 200 mil. Up there, the f4, and then I've got the 200 to 600 mil G lens. And I've also got the PZ 28 to 135 mounted, and that's actually filming me right now. So, but those are the free zoom lenses that I've actually got right now. And then you actually, yeah, I'm enjoying my GMs, my G Master lenses. So that's the 24mm 1.4 GM on the A7R4 body. So this is another beautiful lens that people should maybe invest in and look at it. There's also that 20mm, right?
Yeah, that the 24mm is next on my list. So, but unfortunately, that we've had no work in that, so it's sort of ruined my chances to get another lens or camera. So at the moment,
yeah. Well, there you go. The winning photo that Riss, or the photo that was cover of Australia photography Australia.
Something like that. Yeah.
Is that right? It was actually shot with an 85 1.4 A mount lens. So congratulations again, Riss. Mad Dog Manny, the 85 1.8 gives the 85 GM a run for its money. And what do you think about that? What do you think about that, Brett? When someone says that?
Well, it does. If you are familiar between, if you're looking at two different images, so if I did a blind test and threw up two images and said, okay, one was shot by the 85 GM and one was shot by the 85 Sony, right? And I didn't say anything which one is which. It will be very hard to guess which one is which. People that do actually use both of those lenses will have a fair bit to figure out which one is which. But in general, for no one that's not into as photography like we are, it would be very hard to pick. And by the way, if you're doing weddings and no one would care, as long as they're getting good images and so forth. So, but yes, you are paying more for the 85. It's obviously for the 85 G Master, it's obviously more future proof for the new generation cameras to come through up to 100 megabytes resolution. So where the others probably won't be able to manage that sort of resolution in future. So
it's, I mean, resolving lenses that can actually resolve or can't resolve. There was actually a lot of talk about the A7R4 when the A7R4 came out with its 61 megapixel sensor. A lot of people were talking about which lens could resolve and which lens couldn't resolve. It's not so much about what this camera can resolve and what it can't resolve. It's just how good it actually resolves a lens, or how good the glass is. Because if you've got good glass on this camera, if you've got good glass on this camera, it will actually you will be able to tell. But we're talking about pixel peeping. We're talking about zooming into the image, and then you will see the difference. You won't see the difference in any other way, shape, or form. I mean, if you've got an older lens on the camera, like a Zeiss 50mm 1.4 or something like that,
or the Zeiss 55,
or the 55 exactly, you will not see a difference until you actually zoom in. And if you exactly. See, so there's the 55 1.8.
Clay just mentioned about the Zeiss. He loves his Zeiss 55. And the beauty with this 55 too, by the way, those who have a crop sensor, you can use this full frame Zeiss, Sony Zeiss. As most people know, it's branded Zeiss on one side, Sony on one side,
Sony on one side, yeah.
and use the Zeiss
And Zeiss.
Plus.
Yep.
But the beauty of this, on crop sensors, this will become and behave like an 85.
An 85 mil. Yeah.
Fantastic. So, yeah, and razor sharp. So, yeah, I just thought I let.
Well, hypothetically, you could do the APS-C mode and actually crop in.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't recommend anyone use the APS-C because when you do post editing, that's when you do your cropping. Otherwise, you're losing extra pixels that you might not have to lose, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just looking at what Ms. Sayers said.
Yeah.
Would you ever consider replacing your 70 to 200 f4 with something like the Tamron 70 to 180 2.8? What do you think, Brett?
Hard to say because
I'm asking a Sony advocate. I'm asking a Sony advocate.
I have not used any of the Tamrons. I've seen.
Yep.
I have a play with other people that attended my workshops and photo walks. But I mean, look, there's nothing wrong with third party. If you've got a budget that can't, and you need to save as much money as you can, there's nothing wrong going with the Tamron. Me, myself, because I do own the 7200 and I don't own the G Master 2.8, I own the F4 version, G. I think for me, if I ever went to the 180 Tamron, it'll throw me out because it's 30 millimeters short of shy of 200. So 200 for me is a vital thing because I need much as reach as possible, and if I had to go more than 200, I will have to go into crop mode and get it out to about 300. So
yeah. I think I need to also mention that the reason why I might not go for the 70 to 180, even if I was looking at that, I don't like tram burning lenses.
Yeah,
the 70 to 180 is actually a tram burning lens. I'm talking about a tram burning lens is a lens that actually it slides out. Like when you zoom, it actually comes out on the external. Now the Sony 70 to 200 is actually an internal extending. So there's no movement on the outside of the actual lens. Whereby in the Tamron 70 to 180, it actually will trombone out. I had the, I got to say, I was in San Francisco once and I wasn't doing a shoot. That was actually here in Australia. And it was actually really really dusty, fine sand in the air. And it was a windy day on the beach. And those granules got into my 24 to 70 mil GM. I don't own that lens anymore, but because it was tramboning, that dust actually got inside into the tramboning part, and it was just crunching around. It took me forever to actually clear it all out and clean it, but I basically had to put that lens away and actually use another lens on the beach. So be very careful about the environment you actually take a tramboning lens into. The other tramboning lenses are 100 to 400 GM, things like that. So always take that into consideration. There's many tramboning lenses I can think of, like even the Sigma 150 to 600. That's a tramboning lens. So treat all that with care. That's what I like about what Sony has done with the 200. Sorry. This hand
200,
with the 200 to 600, that's actually internal zooming, so it's not tramboning on the outside. So it's a compact lens that actually will not move in and out.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm just going to go back to. Sorry.
Good points there, Mark.
Yeah. Okay, so Riz says she's heading towards prime lenses herself. These days, pretty much got a range of zoom covered over 4 lenses. Yes, and I think the more you work with prime lenses, the more you start sort of having this love affair with your prime lenses, and especially fast prime lenses. I can't live without them. I need them. And it's not so much for the actual fast lens. When I talk about a fast lens, they are also I'm talking about the quality of glass that's actually built in there. When you're talking about a GM lens, or it has got a one more step up in glass quality also. So don't forget these bits and pieces. There's also one piece of glass that is actually in all the GM lenses. Do you know which one it is? That is, Brett. One segment. I should bring that up. I should have that with me, but I don't have it. You might have to look into that. But yeah, every GM lens is actually one piece of glass that's actually it doesn't come in any other Sony lenses.
Oh, you're talking about yeah, I know. You got me on the spot.
I keep thinking anamorphic, but it's not anamorphic. It's something else.
No. Actually,
oops, I disappeared.
I haven't got my. Yeah, I could tell you. I can't think of my. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's the only lens that your lenses.
Maybe Craig Turnbull knows. Can chime in.
It's when the only. He's talking about the only glasses that you find in GM lenses, and or sometimes you might find in the G lens, but you won't find in the Zeiss's or the Sony. That's so.
Okay, so Riz was just saying it's photograph of the week Australia. Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mad Dog Manny said I used, but I'm always laughing about these names. They sound so American. Okay, I used both over 2 days, interchanging between both. It's an easy choice at a third of the price. Are you talking about the 85-18 and 85-14? Yes, I mean it's just one of those things where, like, there is a difference. There is a big difference between 1.8 and 1.4. Once you're used to 1.4, you will see the difference. To your customer, like if you are a pro, they won't know. They won't know the difference between 1.4 and 1.8. It's just one of those things. Strangely enough, a lot of people put so much white on them, but it's unless you're talking to professional, like magazines, etc. They will. Hi, Michelle. Yeah, they will know the difference.
Yes, what you're trying to say before, aspherical lens. So,
sorry, what was it? The aspherical.
Yep.
Yeah, so there's an aspherical lens group in the groups of lenses. There is one glass that is actually an
the external lens is right at the back of the lens.
Aspheric. Yes.
Yep.
And you will only find them in the GM lineup.
Yeah. So
love my Tamron, says Lauren. Well, you can love it all you want. I'm not buying it. But if you're happy with your lenses, stick to your lenses. You know, we're just talking about the difference in lenses. I'm not going to tell you that one lens is worse than the other lens. If you're happy with lenses you've got, or you decide to purchase a lens, you know, like I can't give you advice of exactly which lens you should buy. Don't forget. These are my considerations when I look for my lenses, the same way as what Brett is looking for. We've got different needs and different usage. Whoop, my OBS is going on the blink.
I know.
It just went blue screen, so there you go. Okay, so love my yep. How's your 17 to 28 holding up?
I think me talking to Lauren about
yeah.
So, yep.
Still going great, says Lauren. Okay. Okay, pretty much the only lenses I've been using are the 17 to 28 and 24 to 105. So the 24 to 105 is the Sony f4. Okay, so aspheric. Messias. Bill should know this.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just that, I mean, sometimes I've been so busy doing all this, you know, like the video work and all that, and I've been neglecting, you know, you just drop out a little bit in memory. Learning Magic whilst in ISO mark. Learning Magic whilst in ISO mark. I don't know what that means. Ah,
yeah.
Learning Magic. Yeah, I got to pull. I'm constantly pulling stuff out of hats here, left, right, and center. So, and also overnight there was actually a few updates that came for the software, so I had to reshuffle some stuff as well. So for the good, but I had to resort things. Extreme aspherical elements, says the Mozart. And Mad Dog Mini says, yep. Now, Riz said, I found out a 30mm macro and an A99 weigh 1.02 kilos yesterday.
Right.
Another lens in my collection that isn't used enough.
1,227 grams. Yeah.
Grams, yeah. 1.027 kilos. So it's yeah. I mean, that's always the consideration, you know, when you travel, should you buy a GM lens like a 85 1.4 or even go for the 85 1.8, and if you travel a lot, I mean it just becomes a no-brainer. It comes down to white then. But right now we're not traveling overseas. We don't have to worry about any flights, so that's all good.
Yeah. Okay.
So I hope everyone has been enjoying the... here in Queensland, we're actually having that liberty of travelling around in the 50-kilometre radius now, and we can do stuff and get ourselves around now. So that's... and do recreative things here in Queensland, so that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, blame the updates, Mark. Well, I've got to blame someone, you know, like I can't blame Brett. So.
We're pretty new to all this live feed stuff, and Mark had to really, he spent days and if not weeks trying to get this to what we're doing now, you know, to where we are now. So,
look, I've been having a look at YouTubers as well, and there are a lot of YouTubers that are trying to do live shows, etc. And there's a lot of glitches happening out there. That's for sure.
Yeah.
The f-stoppers. If anyone knows the f-stoppers, I mean, they're pulling their hairs out and getting frustrated. One of them is actually bald, so he's lost it all.
Right.
Okay, so Lauren says, I got to go drone flying yesterday. Where did you go, Lauren? It was exciting. Yeah, I bet you. What sort of drone have you got, Lauren? Just out of interest. There's just so many, there's so many choices on drones now. I mean, you got the Mavic 2 that's actually now come out, the DJI Mavic 2, and that was announced, and that's up and flying now. So the flying time on that is now 34 minutes. With my, you'll see up, okay, wrong finger again. So up here, you'll see the Mavic 2 Pro, and that's got flying time of about 25 minutes. So having an extra 10 minutes flying time is great. But would I update before it? No, I don't think so.
Well,
right
what I've heard so far, the Mavic Air and the one that just been announced, it's actually very, very quite good actually. So compared to Mavic Pro 2. So
Look, if I was in the buy, I would probably look at that drone rather than the Mavic 2 Pro, obviously, just for the flying time. But it's useless. It's useless having a drone if you are in America, etc. Because a lot of laws are being clamped down left, right, and centre.
Yeah.
They haven't got the law. Oops, I dropped out again. There you go.
Yeah. So very
Okay, so
yeah, and it's going to happen more in Australia too. Strict policies and stuff. So if you are flying drones around, please make sure that you check that if you're not in a strict area and so forth.
yeah, exactly. I mean, there is Can I Fly There apps and all that, so people that have got drones will know about these apps and they can check. I mean, it just boils down to the main issue is not being in a flight zone near an airport, etc. But nowadays the DJIs are pretty good, and they won't lift off. They actually have got GPO fencing. Is that what it's called? GPO fencing, I think. So you basically, it will get a signal not to lift off if it's in the flight zone. So it's an automatic setting, and you can't.
With the U release one, it does actually. I think it actually gives you a map and it shows you where the the real planes are about, or helicopters, and it gives you one where so.
I mean, it's what is it now? 150 meters up, and 30 meters all around, or something. I think that's a distance you can fly out, and 150 meters up. And it's a fair bit when you do photography with the drone. I don't think you need any more than that, because when you lift off, Brett, you probably don't know this, but when you actually fly up, you get to a certain height, and after that height, after you get up to that certain height, say you're doing a sunset or something, if you go any higher than that, it doesn't make any difference to the actual image.
No.
Because you are still on the horizon. The horizon doesn't change as you go up. You just get over the tree line, etc. Maybe another 20 meters above there, and then that's about as good as you will ever get the image. And if you go any higher, it won't make any difference. You'll just get into cloud, and things will get smaller on the ground.
But as you go high, you would be looking down and getting.
Yeah, if you're doing top-down shots, like if you turn the lens, the camera down, and you're doing top-down, obviously you'll get a larger area because the further away you are, the wider the angle.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it's more dramatic if you actually are closer to the ground. Like if you're about 20 meters off the ground and then shooting top-down, especially when you're doing along the beach or something like that, you'll see. I've got a YouTube where you can actually have a look at on Shelley Beach. I took some drone footage there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mavic 2 Pro, Mavic Air, and Mavic Mini. So there you go. Did I say that right before? Did I? Did I say Mavic 2 Air or something? Mavic 2 something?
Yeah.
I don't know. They got to get these words right. Everyone is. I don't know. There's just too many products, too much product getting thrown at us all the time with all different names, and you don't know which one's which at the end. Very confusing.
Yep.
Makes me excited to see that the Mavic 3 is going to be like what the Mavic 3 is going to be like. Well, I think in the Mavic 3 you can actually jump on it and actually fly with it. It's going to get you around, Lauren. It's going to,
Yeah.
Geofencing, that's what it's called. Yes. Yeah, I'm getting very old. See all this grey hair? That's happened over the last couple of weeks now.
Okay, Mad Dog. So you have a good night, and we'll see you another time. Thanks for joining.
Yeah. Great, Mad Dogs. Thank you very much for chiming in, and remember to subscribe to me. That'll be really nice of you.
Bye.
Okay, so Lauren says 120 meters. Yeah, subscribe. 120 meters is the flight height of how high up you can go. I live in a no-fly zone. Yeah, well, I live in a no-fly zone myself because I'm in the harbour here. You're not allowed to fly over boats and yachts and stuff, so yeah, so it's prohibited. Yeah, so Brett, do you want to maybe do a show and tell?
Yep, I think, yeah, we're getting to that time.
It's that time of day.
We do some.
I might actually, I'll run your image.
Now, my video quality will drop a bit because when I start sharing something from my end, yeah.
Okay, so, right. So what have we got here? We've got Spider-Man up on the screen, Brett.
Yes, I'm just sort of waiting until it comes up in here.
Yeah.
Won't take long. It's going to catch up. But, yeah, so most of the people that know me from our photo walks, the SONY Alpha Brisbane group, this was taken about, mid-year or something last year, I think we did. Oh, it was the light, vivid light show or something, wasn't it? You know, you had the laser show in the river.
Yeah, exactly. It was the Brisbane Festival, arts festival.
Yeah. So, but then
and they had the Comic Con on, right? Was that the Comic Con?
Comics, yeah. But anyhow, yeah, I managed to get this shot while all our members and that was surrounded by surrounding Spider-Man himself, and yeah, just I didn't get too many shots of him, but I was very lucky to get this shot, and yeah, I can't remember what settings I was shooting, but I wasn't shooting very fast shutter. If you look in the knee and the feet, there's a bit of movement, and that turned out pretty much way I wanted it, because I did want to show a bit of movement, but also too that it just shows you to show you that you don't have to absolutely freeze your images like that and so forth. So
what was your shutter speed there on that one?
I can't remember what the shutter speed actually is. I can't. Yeah.
I mean, that was a very obliging Spider-Man, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He ended up climbing up on the tree for us and everything, so it was really interesting.
Well, it's obviously shot at f4 because I was using the 7200 f4 G lens, so that's probably nearly whacked out. Maybe about 180 millimeters shot, but I did a bit of color grading on this image, and that because everybody would remember on the day Spider-Man was blue, but I came in interesting shots in other shots where he was up the tree, and for some reason, because he was in more shadow, his blue suit sort of changed colours. It did a sudden colour shift. And I thought, well, actually, and then that reminded me that, you know, I will do a colour edit on this one, and I'll change it to black. And because I think it went a fair better with the red and black shirt and the black jacket, and so forth. And it made it more dramatic than blue. So
yeah, it's it is certainly a different color to what I remember my images looked like. I think I made a more Spider-Verse color. So it was actually, I mean, the original Spider-Man color. I think Spider-Man has gotten over time in all his movies, he's gotten darker and darker, hasn't he? It's been sort of like trending down that way. Yeah, that was really interesting. Yeah, great shot too, great capture.
Yeah.
And he was just so obliging. This guy, it was really
He really went out of his way to perform, and he did. So yeah.
extraordinary. I mean, later on, he took his jacket off and his pants off and all that. He looked like the real Spider-Man there, and yeah, and then he. before I blinked, he was up on the tree, and I was yelling at him, "Don't fall down!" You know, like I was worried about our liability.
By then, he actually took all his clothes off and revealed his whole body suit underneath that. So, he did really. It was a pretty good day actually, and then seeing all the other costumes. Walking around the South Bank, people getting around in their costumes as well. That was.
I remember he was from Cairns, right? He travelled all the way down from Cairns. So that's what is that, about 2,000 kilometres or something like that to come to these to this event.
Yeah, that's right.
So there's a lot of dedicated people around that actually do these Comic Cons. I don't know if this was Comic Con. Well, this was something else. This was another show
related to Comic Con, but yeah, they're all pretty much it's cosplay. Put it that way.
It was a cosplay show. Yeah, I mean we met up with a few people there and shot a few people.
This
Star Trek and a Grim Reaper.
I did, but yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's always a good thing to actually find out in on your calendar when once the coronavirus is over, obviously, and the doors open up again for people to get around and all these shows start up. It's good to actually put them into your calendar at the beginning of the year, so you know what's coming, and you can prepare yourself to actually maybe go to these things. And I've got another blue screen. It's huge.
I'm just going to my next image. I have to sort of scroll down.
Hang on, I'll blend. I think I'll blend us out, Brett, and let people see the full screen here. Yep. Go on.
Yeah, I'm just waiting.
So it's going to switch over in a minute. Yeah, there's always this delay on YouTube, so we've got to wait.
It's quite a delay, actually. So as you can see, I'm just on to this image right now.
But yeah, I mean, just continue with your image, because that delay is what people are. They're gonna hear what you're saying when this picture comes up.
Yeah. Anyhow, right. This is a shot that I took at Morgan's Falls, in Leamington National Park.
Yeah,
and I deliberately went in the afternoon because I knew with the research that I did that the sun was going to fall in the west. So this is looking on top of Morgan's Falls, and I sort of come off to the right side of the image of the falls. It's looking 90 degrees or 45 degrees from the water flow over the falls. So I can see the valley and everything. But if I had moved the other way, I would have been looking in direct sunlight. So I needed to get all the valley and the mountains down below, and so forth, to get the shot. And this particular day, I had a model with me, Melissa. We were doing Brides on Waterfalls shoot. So she was actually standing on this big rock that you can see on the left-hand side there, and standing on there in various other places and that. So this is actually, let's see now, I know it's a 1635, but let's see what shot we're here. 250 seconds at f8 and 100i. So actually I could have found out the information from the other shot by doing that too. But but now here's the interesting thing. This is a re-edit of that same image, but what I've done, I've gone into Luminar. And this was Luminar, I think it was Luminar 18 before I got into Luminar 3, and now there's Luminar 4. Um, but in the original shot, there are light rays coming through this tree on the right-hand side, but they were so faint. I knew that in Luminar I can probably mimic that same light and make it more and enhance it more. So, so this photo is not the original. The original is pretty much the way you see it now, without the sun rays coming through it.
Yeah, the sunrise. Yeah,
that is the Luminar edit, and that's the power of Luminar.
Yeah.
What it can do. And
yeah, it's quite incredible.
Yeah, so you can actually place that sun behind the trees, and it'll find little holes through the tree spaces and that, and mimic the sun shining through.
I mean, again, I you know, artificial intelligence. It's gonna come through all software, etc. So it's here to stay. I think people are liking it more and more.
Yeah.
And are those any more pictures there, Brett?
I thought I'll just do those two. So because we are sort of getting on the hour limit now. So, but if anybody has any questions for me about this two photos and that, just go ahead and
far away. You know, like I mean, we've got
and I'll go back to
time flies. True, Lauren, and good thing we have the photo here for context. She says, would have been Comic-Con for the Spider-Man time, and Riz said it was on the 21st of the 9th, 2019 when all this happened. So all pre-COVID, and who knows when this is all going to happen again in the future.
Yeah.
It's one of those unfortunate things where you actually are tapping around in the dark. Okay, Brett, I'm gonna
back
just
to you.
Bring myself up and just give people a view of. You know, it's got to switch this around. This is not so easy. This is a bit tricky. So, okay, so maybe a lot of people have seen this image that I've actually shot. This was shot for Latina magazine. This is a published magazine, obviously, and the I'm gonna run through some pages, and you're gonna be seeing some advertisement in the PDF magazine. So just ignore the advertisement, because it's you know, you'll just see all these. This is sort of like the caliber of the magazine that that I deal with when I go out and shoot, and we get to see all these images, and it's quite. And there you'll see the first image there on the left-hand page. That's Natalia Ferrari, and I actually shot her here in Australia. This was actually shot here in Australia, so yeah, very interesting. You know, all this marketing that everyone goes through. You'll see that picture up in the center top there, Quintessenza magazine. That's another of my magazines that I shot for Quintessenza. And there is obviously a lot of this sort of advertisement, and so this is just the PDF of a magazine. Okay, so you just have to just dig through all this. There's J-Lo, and we're just sort of like giving you an idea of what one of these high-end magazines actually look like. And then my images will be, I think they're centerfold, so she appears in the center of this magazine. And it's just and there it starts. So you actually got this with the editorial in there, and yeah, so she is full frontal. This was actually shot on Shelley Beach, right?
Okay.
This was all done on Shelley Beach, and this girl just appeared from nowhere. We we were involved in another shoot, and she basically came up to us. She just happened to be on the beach, and she turned around and said, "Oh, I would love to do something like this," and etc. etc. So she's now with a modeling company, and she's a full-time model. So
There you go.
just approaching photographers and talking to them, and just talking to the right people gets you there.
Yep, and there you go. See, Mark's got a girl into a career pretty much straight up.
Yeah, it was very interesting that we actually lifted her. This was her first editorial, her first magazine. So yeah, she was very over the moon.
Can you
And her mother was actually in the background.
Can
Yeah.
you explain to the audience what you actually do? You actually put all this together too, and when you send all your work, like the storyline too as well.
Yeah, when you see the matting, etc., all the layout is actually more or less, the layout is done through me, and I produce this and put that in front of to the magazine. This is what I would like it to look like in the magazine, and then they have got the choices whether or not they'll go ahead with it. But usually, because I know their taste and what the magazine looks like, they never say no usually, and it's then yes, no problems. Let's just go ahead with it and do it. Usually, also when you get to this stage, sometimes the publishing time is a crucial part.
Yeah.
So this was going up within, like, it had to go the print had to go into the rollout at, I think, 24 hours to go. It was really crunched. We really had to push that out and get it all done. And you will also see that in the magazines, in Latina magazines, etc., it's not like the Australian magazines, where in Australian magazines you will see more skin toning and more differences.
Yeah.
Here they are very polished. You will see the models. The model is very, very cleaned up, very polished in editing. And there's a bit of advertisement for me, and that's all. This is all in the magazine, yeah. So this was all shot within, I think it took us 2.5 hours was all in the can, and it was the mother was standing in the background, and I had an assistant with me holding a Godox light actually, because it was shot in Australia, but so okay, so this is another one of my shots actually. This was shot in America in a studio. Yeah. And then it just goes from there, and I just don't want to show much nudity. I'm not sure if this magazine has got any nudity, but because sometimes the magazines do have nudity, Brett.
Yeah.
So I've got to be very careful with what I'm showing. Again. So sorry about that. And I'm just gonna.
So, by the way,
backdrop screen.
If you got any questions for Mark about his work and how he publishes or gets published as a photographer, just put your questions down below in the comments and that, and if before we go off, we might get to him and so forth, or he can answer them off air later on. So
yeah, absolutely. If anyone's got any questions or whatever, like even after the live show, there's still the comment box, so people can ask questions. And if this is the actual magazine, so you'll see the thickness of the actual magazine. So it's not just like a Woman's Weekly magazine that's really thin. This is very high end images in here. So it just comes down to the the people that are buying these are usually based in Florida and very Latino. It's a very Latino orientated publication. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've also published in Germany and
Mark,
few
are
places.
these magazines still current today, or what?
You can still go on MagCloud and actually purchase these. The links, I think I've got them in on Instagram. If you fish around on my my images, you'll actually see a link to MagCloud where you can actually purchase them. But these are, I think this one here was published August 2018. There were a few 2019s. I'll just.
Is the rest?
There's a fair few. There's a few more of my published magazines here. So
the reason because I asked was
Vitality magazine. These are all front cover publications. Yeah, so it's Volant is a German one. Yeah, Latina. People might have seen this image before. So it's all about. I mean, once you're in the fashion industry, it's a fairly rough road. I mean, nowadays you've got to compete with a lot of photographers, etc. But once you nestle yourself in and you actually become a, part of the magazine, that's when it's interesting. That's when you've got a lot more opportunities and you get published a lot more, obviously. But it also makes it a bit harder for other photographers to actually step in as well. So I don't know what it's going to be like post COVID and where we are going to be standing from then on, because I was supposed to have gone to America several times by now this year, and it's obviously all fallen to pieces right now.
Okay.
Lauren says that works for censoring. So yeah, I had to be just very. I wasn't sure which magazines have got some nudity in it and all that, and because I've got obviously some magazines are nudity, especially the German ones are just full of it. But again, we've got to remember this is actually not a how would you say, not to be portrayed as a sexual thing. This is actually art. Okay, so it's a different genre.
So we are getting on to over an hour now. So are we going to go on to the next one before we close down?
Yeah, I have got problems with my list again, Brett. I don't know. It's becoming usual. Okay, so what have we got here?
You would quickly want to talk about the 50 kilometre radius restriction zone.
Yeah,
and touch base on that.
Well, with the 50 kilometre radius restrictions and limitations, you've seen that I've put up a map indicator for people to have a look at where they are actually able to travel to. The radius is as the crow flies, so it's in a direct line, so don't think about limitations on your odometer on your car and the roads that snake their way through, and that's your 50 kilometres. It's actually the way the crow flies. So hypothetically, I live here in Cleveland, Queensland, and I can travel down to down south as far as like Tambourine Mountain Range around there. So it's good news for me that I can actually get down there because I quite like actually there's waterfalls there and all that for me to shoot. And that's a recreational drive. You can actually shoot nowadays. And I can also get into Brisbane City, CBD. So quite relaxed.
It's too far for me where I am to even make it to the Gold Coast, let alone Brisbane. So, yeah.
It really sucks for some people. It is, but then again, when you think about it, people in Victoria, etc., they haven't got any loosening of the restrictions. So we're just still lucky here in Queensland. I think more so. I think where is it in Western Australia? They've loosened up even more than what we have. So it's just the way the world is going to be going. Some people are going to be able to travel sooner than others. People will be going to work sooner than others. Some people. So we just have to wait and see. And if there is a second wave of this virus, and let's hope there won't be a second wave, then we might actually be restricted again, and we can't travel anymore.
Liz said, woohoo, Mount Glorious 4 in my 50 kilometre radius. Now, if anybody has been to Mount Glorious, please go. If you can, there's some beautiful national parks up there, and look out to Mount Glorious, looking up to, I think, Rainbow Beach area and all those sort of things. You can see the coastline up from there, and beautiful. Yeah,
it's beautiful there. Yeah, I mean it's also we're falling into winter here, which we felt the temperature change now this week. So it's probably a good time to actually get around. It's not too hot, not too cold yet. So if people want to travel, and but again, it's up to the individual to decide whether or not they actually want to leave their house. Obviously, if you are in a high risk age group, or you've got high risk health issues, then forget about all this and stay home and look after yourself and take care.
Yeah. And Warren said everyone decided to come Shorncliffe today.
Yeah. Well, you can't have it all for yourself there, Lauren.
Wasn't that when you were telling me you and Michelle went there for a day or something, and then you saw all those cops just suddenly turned up? Was that the same place?
No, that was Wellington Point. I actually went there with Michelle for a walk. Okay. We went to King Island for exercise.
Yep.
And and that was I mean, we probably stayed there a little bit too long, walking around, and there was the police swooped on the area, and I think there were 2 divisional vans and 2 cop cars, and it was just like a raid, like I thought I was back in the, what is it, in the 40s or 50s, when they're actually raiding all these bars for legal bootleggering and all that, like all this what they used to do back then, like, I mean, people used to drink illegally, and they used to get raided by the police. That's what it felt a bit like. So
Rick said, where I go, you can see Lake Wivenhoe. Okay, righto. So whereabouts there? So you're actually going into Fernvale or somewhere close by, or past Fernvale to see Lake Wivenhoe, and so forth?
Yeah, I've never been to Wivenhoe actually. I've been to Hinsdam, but which has actually got a nice sort of recreational area there, and nice spot to get to.
Yeah, Lake Wivenhoe and Somerset Dam, they both interconnected back to back. Somerset is sort of more back in Esquay, the past Esquay, and it's more the back side of Wivenhoe, and then eventually comes into Wivenhoe as you come into black soil and all that sort of area. Fernvale. But Wivenhoe, They're really good, but Somerset's really nice drive you can go through, a windy drive that leads you to the Somerset Dam wall.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty nice around there too.
Yeah, I mean, everyone. I mean, also don't forget that the petrol price is nice and low right now. I think I
Yeah.
filled up today for $1.19, and
Yep.
I've heard there's like it was a lot cheaper a while ago. So it's a consideration, Brett. Got to get out there. You know, fill up the batteries. You know, and make sure your SD cards are in, and make sure your lenses are clean and your sensor is clean, and then go for it. Just go out there and shoot. Enjoy, breathe in fresh air.
Yeah, you can actually get some nice Milky Ways around Wyvenhope, as long as you're pointing your camera away from obviously Brisbane area, so you're not getting too much light pollution. But it's still not really in the area of total darkness. So yeah, unfortunately, but you still can get the Milky Way. Yeah.
Sorry, I was concentrating on something else there, Brett, for a second.
And that's touching on that subject again before we go. We are coming to winter now, and which means this is the best time, as we're coming in the beginning, for astrophotography. So people are wanting to do that. We're getting closer and closer to the cleaner nights. It's just clear skies that you just got to hope for, and use the app of Dark Skies. There's an app called Dark Skies that can show you where the light pollution is and where there's barely light pollution, and that you can go to, and find the locations to do your astro shooting.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm giving it 1 to 2 weeks. There was a little lookout on Mount Glorious. I have some sunset photos from the lookout there. Yeah, I mean, now's the time to really go out there and explore it. You know, and it's interesting how much we lose when we get restricted of going somewhere, and then all of a sudden the doors open up, and then everyone just wants to run out there and do it. One benefit, if I go to Melbourne, I get my old Milky Way stomping grounds back. Yeah. Well, you've also got the 12 Apostles there, or the 10 Apostles, 12 Apostles, and on the Great Ocean Road. But I was born in Melbourne, so you don't have to tell me about Melbourne. I don't want to trade it in. It's too cold down there.
Yeah.
Okay, and Riss says last round trip I did around the lakes, I got to see where the bushfires hit Esk. It was heartbreaking. Yes, and a lot of people actually have forgotten more or less about the fires, haven't they? And what heartbreak that brought on, and now all the concentration is now on COVID-19, unfortunately. And it's we sometimes have to reflect and remember that that is still an issue for a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people are still displaced, and they actually lost their houses.
We've had so
and now
much
their jobs.
We've had so much happen in over 6 month period, from drought to fires, and now to COVID-19, and people losing jobs and dying, and houses. It's just
it's been a real strange couple of years, I can tell you.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I remember the fire outbreaks were, I think, beginning of September or even earlier. So we're coming into like a full year cycle now of all these issues, and financially it's going to be a big problem as well.
And I did
the
mention,
government will want more money.
and I forgot to mention too, the floods. So we've had
Floods.
droughts, flood, fires, and and so forth. So
Yeah. So where are we now, Brett? Here, Sapo, Sario.
Yep.
Was nice for star picks out west. 3.5 hour drive. Some nice Milky Way picks last week on a work trip. Oh, look, I mean, is this Craig? Is it? Yeah.
I don't know.
So it's great if you actually you are out in the great outdoors and you don't have too many lights to deal with, and you can see all the star system, universe, Milky Way. We'll process them and pass.
Brian, have you been reading Channel 7 about the new asteroid that's coming along? But look, I don't think you're going to see that by the naked eye. I think you need a telescope to see that asteroid flying.
Did anyone get to see the asteroid shower, the meteor shower?
No.
A few nights ago, I looked outside a few nights, and a few times I went outside to actually on my balcony to see something, but I couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
So not sure if anyone captured anything.
Very late in the morning, about at least 3 o'clock in the morning, to see the best of it. So
yeah. I mean, I was out at 2 p.m. Out of my balcony having a look at. Maybe I just got too much. I mean, where my north view is, I've got too much light contamination here. I've got the train station in Cleveland here, overlooking that, so it's just too much light.
Yeah.
Artificial light, I mean. Yeah, Lauren.
So, any more questions?
I think I got one meteor. Yeah. So has anyone got any more questions? That's what we want to know. We need to know if anyone's got questions.
And
I mean, we are always trying to entertain you guys with these shows. Obviously, we've gone live because we don't we can't communicate any other way with our groups. And the photo walks are obviously not happening, and we can't communicate any other way. But we also want to keep our faces alive and let people know that we care and we're still around.
Yeah. And the only reason why, I mean, at first I was doing lives in my group, the SONY Fair Group, Brisbane. But technically, the video quality and can't share screen and all that sort of stuff. I was very limited what I could do. I don't have all the gear that Mark has got to get us better quality and sound and everything like
Just
that.
talk about that. My OBS dropped out again.
Yeah.
Sorry, keep going.
So, but anyhow, we decided we would team up and do what we're doing right now, and we'll do this every Sunday. Now, here's the question I want to ask.
So. Yeah.
Do you prefer the Sunday, or do you prefer, say, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday night to do these live talks each week? So
I've been thinking about that as well, where we could do a maybe a Saturday night. I just would like to hear back from people how they feel about it.
Yeah.
Obviously, the live stream is going to be showing live on a Saturday, and if people don't get to see the live stream, they can always go back onto YouTube and go to my channel, and they can re-watch it. You know, and like it's a recording. People can see it again. I'm not going to take it off YouTube. People can always go back to it and see it. So they can always judge us of how many jokes we've been throwing around, and if anyone's been laughing. I don't know. No idea. So Lauren has been saying Sunday works well. I've been missing the Saturday night one though as well. Yeah, Lauren. With as Brett said, we were having. We did trials on Facebook and we tried streaming on Facebook, and it was a big issue.
The lag is really bad on Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah, the lag is bad, and it also only streams at 720p. So the quality of content is not there, and we can't do as much on Facebook as what we can do on YouTube, unfortunately. But I hope it's not too much of a jump. I've left links to YouTube. You only need, I think you need a Gmail address or something to be able to watch shows on YouTube. I'm not 100% sure what you have to do. It's been so long since I've done it, like 10 odd years now. But I'm not trying to push YouTube. I'm just saying that YouTube is a better platform for us to do this. And the quality can go all the way up to 4K if you've got 4K capable streaming. I've only got 1080p capable streaming at the moment because of the capture cards are all sold out. You can only get I could only get this one capture card. And Facebook is limited to 720p, so this gives you an idea that Facebook is more centric about, images and comments and text. Yeah, so
the group that I go on Friday with are currently hibernating, so I'm free either night.
Ha ha ha! Riz hibernating. Yeah, we're like little ferrets. We've dug ourselves into a hole and we don't come out of it until COVID is over. But it is an unfortunate thing, it's Brett cannot do Sony photo walks because Sony has turned around and said no, you can't, and that's how it is, and unfortunately we can't do anything about it. And if the doors open up more, where the 50k radius gets reduced, I might be able to do a handshake with Brett one day with gloves on. Who knows what we can do.
Look,
so as soon as it happens, I mean, we'll try and maybe do a meetup or something like that. I haven't spoken with Brett about this, but
it's going to take a while before things do. The restrictions start to uplift, and even the first couple photo walks that we will do, it might be only a small amount of people that can join, so it might be still limited. You can only have, say, 10 people or something, in a group,
too right.
Depending on what's being listed. So, look, we're me and Sony Australia, we can't wait to get it back on board. And what we were doing the year before, the photo walks, then the workshops that we provide, so we've just got to be patient and get there to the other end until we can do all this again. So it's something to look forward to, any.
It's interesting. I've just realised that my A9 Sony camera I'm filming on, when I don't look at it for a while, it actually goes into sleep mode, and then you get a blue screen coming up like an OBS sign screen. Okay. So sorry about that, folks. That's a bit unnerving, isn't it? Happening. I was trying to work out for a while why this has been happening. If it's a cable fault or something, but it just drops out all of a sudden. It's just really strange. Okay, so what other topics can we talk about, Brett? Anything that you would want to pick out?
No, don't know. I didn't have anything else on our list for this at the moment. So, no, I think that's all I got. planned for tonight. So unless you had anything else in mind.
No, well, I'm quite happy to leave it there unless someone's got any some questions or they want us to stay on longer. We can always organise that, and we can light a fireplace, and we can put up candles and have a beautiful romantic little inning here for a few hours. But apart from that, like, it's 20:35, so we've done an hour and a half, hour 35 minutes. Which is probably where we were heading at in the first place. So hour and a half show, that's what we were going to do. So very sorry about the content, because I've got a very tiny image of my schedule here, and I can't read it. So I've got a very tough problem, and that's happened last week, and I've got to fix that. So who's this? Lawrence is...
Those in the Brisbane group, SONY Brisbane group, I've been pretty quiet in that group, but still watching what's going on, and I think now, hang on, if I can just have a look, and how many numbers have we got now?
Yeah, I was gonna blend that in, Brett. Just let me have a look here. I will.
So we.
I'll bring up the our groups so people can actually see what we are talking about here. So this is my group, Photographers Collective. That's actually still sitting at 116 for some reason. It's a hard slog. It's not moving up. And Brett's, let's go over to...
Well, we're up to 396 members. So
getting closer to...
So we're getting close to 400. Woohoo! So
close to 400.
It's taken me a long while to get this.
It's really getting there.
But yeah. But anyhow,
sorry about the speed, because I'm streaming. We're live streaming. The actual Facebook page is sort of like being a bit nerdy, slowing down.
And so I had a birthday today. I turned 50.
Yeah, happy birthday, Brett. By the way, I did mention it in the group, and a lot of people actually said happy birthday to you. So
I've got no U cameras, no U Sony cameras or lenses, unfortunately. So pity that, but. Yeah.
You know the world's smallest violin, you know, it's...
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is Brett's Brett Harris's website, and we always have stuff up there, and you'll always be able to see when the live show comes on. Comes up. I will actually have that listed there and pinned up to the top. Yeah, look, Jeff Morgan has actually just posted there, and it looks pretty good.
Thank you, Laura, for that. Hopefully by then you'll be able to hold my camera without a brace. And MII. Still on the brace.
So this is all our website, and we've got a new banner, by the way, Brett, on your website there.
Yeah.
It's on the Facebook group. So this is the new banner. So congratulations to John Gadsby.
Yep.
Well done. Yep. Yeah. So anyone that's actually not in the group, or not in either one of us in the group, so I've got a link in the comment box underneath this YouTube, so people can link themselves to that. Yeah.
And also, just to mention, anybody in Brisbane, living in Brisbane and Queensland of Australia, can join us in the Brisbane, the SONY Alpha Brisbane group. And people down north of New South Wales can also join because they're a bit too far away for the Sydney Althea group. They may join, but unfortunately, overseas can't because it is the Australian group. But with yours is open, Mark.
It's open slather. Basically, I'm worldwide, and it's I'm inviting anyone with any camera, etc., as long as they behave themselves. So I'm very. I just want the group to grow, and I hope that everyone can just join in and chime in and ask questions, and there's not going to be anyone being ridiculed for anything. Any of our groups anyway, so we patrol it. Brett is a moderator in my group, I'm a moderator in his group, and the atmosphere is really it's a healthy atmosphere at the moment. There's not too much aggression going on there.
And we encourage a lot of people in the groups to just share and have discussions on gear, lenses, or whatever, to editing, and nobody gets scrutinised for what they do, what they shoot, or they use this or they use that. We all got to think. Everybody started from somewhere right from the beginning, and everybody goes through that phase. And whether they still don't know anything today or whatever, but you just got to be mindful to think where people come from. How they're starting off and they're still learning or whatever. And really in photography in general, doesn't matter what genre you do shoot, there is no wrong and there is no right. Okay, so
no, we don't. I mean, we see questions that are for beginners, and a lot of people think that it might actually be a silly question, and they are worried about asking that question. But don't forget, we've all come from there. We've all came from beginnings where we didn't even know how to which camera to buy, what to get.
Yep.
We had no idea. I mean, we all had to learn. And we probably learned in a harder way what people are getting now in our group. There goes my blue screen again. I'm very sorry about that. Might be cabling. I'm not 100% sure why that's actually happening. So the biggest issue is that we want to make people as comfortable as possible when they come into the group, and there is no stupid in the group, and there's no any beginner question. Ask away. It doesn't have to be complex. Nothing.
Yeah. After all, the SONY Alpha Brisbane group is an educational group, and because I do my workshops and that, I also an educator in photography and so forth. So beginners are more than welcome to come and ask the most stupid questions and that they think, but to me they're not stupid at all. So
I mean, we've all come from them. I still ask some stupid questions, and we actually talked about this, Brett. We had this one stupid question yesterday where we were going, what is the difference in the EVFs? Remember that question? We were talking about the actual differences in.
You want to talk about that now before we close up?
Well, I can maybe just bring that up quickly. Again, I'm sort of. I don't know what my notes. My notes are supposed to go through. The cloud, and it's supposed to be updated on my screen, but it didn't update. Okay, so just for people that are thinking about which camera to get, or if they're what viewfinder, what EVF. I'm talking about EVF. That's the actual eye cup. What power that has. The monitor inside there is actually a power, And I should bring this up. Can I bring this up? Messenger. Let me see if I can do this quickly.
Messenger, mate. Look that up.
Yeah, just 1 second. I'll just see if I can. Okay, so there. So if people can see this, perhaps this is something I put out quickly because Brett and I we weren't 100% sure about these figures. What is important is the red line, what you see there. So the A7R4 viewfinder has got a resolution of 5,750,000 dots, which is 1.920 pixels. And then there is the A9 and A9 II, which both have got the same resolution, which is 3.686. So you'll see, like, the highest resolution is in the A7R4 in the viewfinder, and that goes all the way down, and then we find the A7R3 on the bottom, unfortunately, Brett, which is it's not even, it's just on half resolution of what the A7R4 is. Yeah. So that's always a consideration for a lot of people when they want to see what quality, what resolution they're getting in camera. It's something that's very low. It's low, like 786,000 pixels in comparison to 1.9 million pixels. So it's staggering.
I've always said with the A7 III, I would have paid extra money to get the same EVF as the R3.
Yeah.
Sony didn't have to do that, but they did to make it more comparable. But because after using the R4 for a month and then go back to the A7 III, you can see the real big difference in the resolution. And using that R4 for a month and seeing that high resolution in the EVF, it was a joy. You knew that your photos were sharp in it on the on A7 III, because it's nowhere near the resolution. It's really hard to tell. Have you got did I get the shot in focus or not? So you have to punch in to your photo to check. So
it is unfortunate that there is a way around it. If people have got an A7 III, you can actually get an external monitor.
Yeah.
So if you've got an external monitor, like a sorry, Brett.
That's just lugging more things around that you don't need to carry. So
Yeah, it's an extra item, and you would need maybe a camera cage or somewhere to actually screw it onto. I wouldn't fit it onto my my hot shoe. So then you would have to have a cage. So it would be more. It's more, more production cost, obviously, to be able to do that sort of thing. But it might be something that's viable for someone else if they are thinking about doing it, because you don't have to go for if people know about monitors, you don't have to go for a Ninja monitor. You can go for because a Ninja monitor is actually a recording monitor, so you can record whatever you're seeing on the screen onto a card in the actual monitor. But there are also monitors out there that are non-recordable, and they're much cheaper. So you're talking about $150, $200 or so, and then you've got a much larger monitor with higher resolution screen. So it's something to that some people opt for. So with that said, any has anyone got any questions about the what we're talking about here with the EVF and the resolution? This was just a very quick thing that I put up. I might actually put that up on our in our groups, Brett, and so people can see the differences. I'm not trying to rub it into anyone's face that they are owning an A7 III and this is bad or that is better or this is great. You know, like it's just fact. It's a fact of the quality of
And right
whatever
at this
EVF
moment,
there is in the camera.
with the R4, I can't imagine future generation cameras getting much higher than that. Because it's going to become a thing about same thing with 8K, 4K screens. So
Yeah.
if you play a 4K movie back on a 4K screen, and then you play an 8K playback on an 8K screen, and you put them side by side, your eye is not really going to distinguish the difference between the two.
True.
There is a difference, but our
Yeah.
eye physically see more than, say, 6K. That makes sense, maybe. But when
Well, what I've already said to you yesterday, Brett, I mean, when we were having a private conversation, I was talking with you about I own the A9 and the A7 R4, and the difference between its resolution and the resolution of, the A9's resolution and the resolution of the A7 R4, my eyes are not the best anymore. But I can't tell the difference that much. It doesn't. The jump between the two of them, between 1.2 million pixels and 1.9 million pixels, is not that great. You know, like at 1.2 million, it's already good enough. And it seems like Sony did see that as well, because they didn't bother updating the A9 II to a better viewfinder. So, and that, I thought that was a bit strange, because the A7 R4 got that better viewfinder.
I would have thought the A9 would have got the R4 finder.
Yeah, the A9 too. Yeah, absolutely.
It was actually,
especially for that price, you know, and for the professional user, you would have thought that would have been done, but I don't know. It's I'm not Sony, and I can't speak for them, and I would love to go over to Japan one day and shake hands over there and talk with them. Surely that can be arranged.
I would love to go over to Japan and go through their factory and all that too. But but anyhow,
I mean, there was a YouTuber that actually went over to Japan and actually went to a tea house, to a traditional tea house, and he was allowed to film the geisha getting dressed and all that. So that was really interesting, because usually they are not allowed to do that. They're not allowed to go into the dressing room and watch all that happening. So it's so it was pretty interesting. It was an Australian YouTuber, by the way.
But anyhow, guys, after that little about the EVF and even about the 4K and 8K, tell us your thoughts. You know, do you think is there a real need for these such high resolution EVFs, especially when it comes to resolution at today's TV, like smart TVs, you know, and now that the 8K TV is coming out, but we're still not really quite there with 4K as standard.
No.
Overall. Yes.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
4K, but there's a big debate about this. You know, companies pushing for the 8K content, you know that. But I can understand that they want to shoot on 8K and downsample maybe down to 6K or 4K. Like Sony now shoots 6K and downsamples down to 4K to get much better video quality and, you know, that sort of thing. So, but
I guess the bother with that a lot of people have seen about the actual the firmware announcement for the FX9 has also been The problem is that they are not rising their 4K resolution in
Yeah.
that camera, so it will
Well,
make
it's
it
gone
very
up to
hard to
6K. I do know that.
6K.
Yep.
Yeah, it goes up to 6K. Yeah, but it's also a bother too when if a pro level video camera is not capable of doing 8K,
Yep.
then we probably won't see 8K in a prosumer camera.
Yeah.
Not yet. It's
Well,
probably a little bit too.
there's been a lot of talk about with the Canon's specs of the new R5, and a lot of people are saying, yeah, well, we don't need 8K, and but that's just
I think it's a devil in disguise 8K. Because you got data storage problems.
yeah. So, but I can understand. Yes, they future proofing their cameras, so they do have that capability down the track. But then again, I can assure you, when we do even go to when 6K comes out standard, that camera is it's going to be generations old by then.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't really see that. A big issue right now at this point in time.
Don't forget the way prices are going up and skyrocketing at the moment. I would also like to think releasing a camera right now is probably not a good idea.
It is.
I mean, we're talking about $10,000 with a lens for the R5, the new Canon R5. So.
I can tell you right now, there's a lot of people out there. So many people have lost their jobs, out of work, and they're hanging on to every bit of money they got just to get by. So let alone, yes, I do know there's a few people that are still buying new lenses. That I've had people PM me and about buying new lenses, and we found that there was a bit of price hike going on now, and blah blah blah. So yes, there are a few people now that's still buying cameras and lenses, but the general at the moment, where we all stand and here at the moment, it is really not the time.
And people are forgetting to remember that. Most camera manufacturers, like mainstream manufacturers, I mean, we're not talking about Hasselblad and we're not talking about Leica, etc. We're talking about the mainstream ones like Canon, Nikon, Fujitsu, Sony, obviously. They are all based in Japan. I mean, these are Japan companies, and they all talk with each other, and it's a different mentality in Japan where they are a big family actually, and they are not as critical about their relationship. The relationship is much friendlier than what we might think, because they are Japanese, and it's
that's right.
they'll be drinking sakis and having dinners together and laughing about how sales are going, etc. And it's nothing bad. I'm not trying to badmouth them. I'm just saying that we sometimes you got to think about a little bit about the way Japanese think about their companies and where they actually are all coming from, to really get a good grip on realizing how these companies deal with each other. I mean, look, Sony gives sensors away to other companies, and they use the sensors in their cameras, and it's not much talked about. Sony doesn't brag about, oh look, so and so company has got our sensors and they're using them. It's not, business is not done that way over there.
Mr. Misa says my internet can barely manage 1080p at the moment. Got to watch content either at 80 and 720p, and he's pretty much got nailed that on head. Yes,
Yeah, well, I'm actually streaming out and receiving. I'm monitoring the show, and I've got 1080p 60 high definition running. So I've got NBN running, so
Yeah.
I'm a bit fortunate with all this, and it seems to be working okay. So I'm very sorry about that down there in Melbourne. But look, I mean, if it's streaming at 480, 720p, etc., maybe come back to the show later and play it back again. You might actually get your 1080p.
Yep.
Yeah, Lauren.
Well, I think that's pretty much it tonight.
This is pretty much the end of the show, guys. Yeah. Look, I mean, we've been 2 hours into it now, so if anyone's got any more questions, now is your time to fire away. Otherwise, you've got to wait another week.
Or
Yeah,
we
so
can, later on during the week or something. So leave.
oh, look, I mean, always leave questions in the comment box.
Yeah. Put your comments down there, and please give us a like, by the way, and hit the notification button. Subscribe. So
everything is in the bottom there. You know, our links and and you can leave comments, etc., etc. So we're always we're bound, so we can always read what people are saying.
Yeah.
That 2 hours of Brett and Mark antics. Oh my God! You've got a bucket full now. Oh, Lauren. Oh God! Wait for the photo walks. We're going to be.
We hope you enjoyed the content, content that we had and things to say, and we do love people giving us questions and joining into the conversations that we are talking about at the time. But I think that's just about enough for me for tonight, and I hope everybody take it easy and be safe. And you got a bit more freedom to move around and do things. So start getting and taking more shots, guys, now. So we'd love to see your images and stuff. And Mark?
Okay, great to get feedback from people. Look at this, I mean, it's beautiful and lovely.
That's what we want.
As always, thank you for spending your time doing this. Yeah, I mean, it's always going to improve. I'm still doing this technical stuff and all that on YouTube and trying to make the content a bit better and having music in the background and little bits and pieces. And I've got to thank Brett for hanging around and sticking in there and coming on board now and being in the show, which is great. We can sort of we like working with each other and we're throwing banter at each other. So it's always that funny part of our show here.
I think two hosts over one host is far better than they can interact and have a conversation.
And there goes my blue screen again. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay, guys, so until next time, and thank you very much for listening in and having us. And I'm just going to get us out of here, Brett, and have a nice weekend and nice week. Bye all.